start by telling you all that she is my friend. She's my friend, and I'm grateful that you're here with us. Cheryl and I, we've kind of been through some stuff together. We've kind of been navigating this industry together, and oddly enough, she lives here in Arizona, but the only time I ever see her is when we're both on the road and happen to be in the same event. So it is very rare that we are in the same room in the state of Arizona, and it's not raining.
And it's not raining.
Is it raining?
No.
It's not. Every time Cheryl and I get together in the state of Arizona, it is a downpour.
We wish.
Okay, so we wish. Cheryl Todd, who's with us today, is the executive producer and the co-host of GunFreedomRadio. She's also the co-owner of AZ Firearms and Pot of Gold Estate Auctions. That's a lot of stuff. But this incredible woman does a lot more than that. She travels the country speaking as a champion of our Second Amendment rights and as a driving force in preserving the legacy, which is a really key word for her. I know it's really important that she is preserving the legacy of freedom for all generations to come. She's a regular contributor on gun-related news platforms. She writes for multiple magazines, sits on various boards, and has spoken on some of the industry's largest national stages, including the NRA Women's Conference, the Weller Women Conference, the West Lawn of the Capitol Building, and the steps of the United States Supreme Court. She has interviewed the biggest names in the firearms industry and has won multiple awards for her charitable endeavors. She's an amazing woman. She has started a grassroots movement called Polkadots Are My Camo. As a nod to the millions of everyday women who are warrior patriots, skilled and prepared to be their own first responder and to protect those around them. It is my great pleasure to introduce Cheryl Todd.
Responders understands we're the help. We're the help in that immediate moment. And we've taken that responsibility to train and to learn and to lift each other up. And that is what's truly going to save lives. And I just think that that is something that we can't say enough. We can't talk about enough. And the fact that you're here and you're learning and you're training, you're going to go back home, wherever home is, and you are going to impact your sphere of influence. It's not just a circle of influence. It's a sphere. There's people above you, people below you, people beside you. And when we are talking to the next generation, that legacy piece, that is the key to everything. Ronald Reagan was right when he said that freedom isn't in our DNA. It's not passed along in the bloodstream. And it is always only one generation away from extinction. And if we are not instilling that in our children and our children's children, it ends with us. So it clearly is not going to end with us, because all the amazing faces I see out there, I know that you are. And if you don't have children, you've got nieces and nephews. You've got children that you interact with at school or at the church. Wherever you go, you're impacting lives in ways that I don't know that I could ever actually encapsulate in words. But for that, I applaud you, and I thank you, and I do have prepared words I'm actually going to get to, but I just wanted to take a minute and appreciate you and let you know that knowing you are out there, even though I haven't met each and every one of you, knowing you are out there puts wind under my wings to help me do what it is that I do as I go around the country and speak to other rooms of people that the rest of the world would have us believe we're the fringe, we don't count, there's not very many of us, we're a dying breed. That is not the truth. This is the truth, what's happening this weekend, and I applaud all of you for investing in yourselves and investing in your families. My prepared talk, as I was trying to figure out, like, what am I going to say to a room full of these passionate, patriot men and women, right? And so naturally, I thought Vikings. So, yeah, because I mean, that flows, right? So, not the football team, not the NFL team, but rather the people of legend, right? Were they the good guys with the sword, or were they pirates? Well, I think that depends on who is telling the story, because I guarantee you, my friends, our generation did not invent fake news. So speaking of pirates, I ran across an article that I just really couldn't stop reading and thinking about. And it's actually from a couple of years ago, and the title was DNA Proves That Viking Women Were Powerful Warriors. Huh? So the article went on to say, an elaborate Viking Age grave in Sweden holds the remains of a decorated female warrior from the 10th century, providing the first archaeological evidence that women held high status positions in the Viking culture. The remarkable find revealed that the DNA analysis of the skeleton did confirm that the individual was a woman, older than 30 years old, and stood somewhere around 5'5" tall. So basically, me. Several weapons were buried alongside the body, including was likely that of a warrior. Accompanying the wide array of weapons were 2 horses, a full set of game pieces and gaming boards, suggesting that the person buried was a high-ranking combatant who was knowledgeable in strategies and tactics. And I'm reading all of this, and I kind of thought, well, duh. Right? Because I have known some amazing and strong and smart and strategic-minded women in my life. But it is a noteworthy article and archaeological find because the remains are female. If the remains had been male, the archaeologists would have turned their attention to his implements of battle, what did he carry, how were they formed, that kind of thing. Why are we always so surprised to stop and notice how powerful the feminine side of our natures are? Well, all of this started me thinking about what my grave might say to future archaeologists. What would it say about me when all that is left of my life and my story are my tools of battle that I used to protect myself and others? Did I use those tools with skill? Did I ever hesitate to engage in decisive battles? Who was I fighting for? And what history say were the results of the time that I spent walking on this earth and breathing the breath that God placed in my lungs? Well, one of my greatest strengths is actually how ordinary I am, really. I am any woman. I am that 5 foot 5 inch tall, over 30 woman, just like our Lady Viking. I'm a wife of 34 years. I'm a business owner, I'm a mom, and I'm a grandma. This ordinariness is empowering to other women who are part of this almost secret sisterhood of patriots. And it is terrifying to those whose life mission it is to put others under the thumb of tyranny and big government. The rights restrictors want to have a clearly defined caricature to vilify, right? They want us all to be kind of slow-talking, southern accent, camo wearing, 50 and over bearded dudes. And some of the finest people I have ever known are exactly that. I am proud of who they are, and I'm proud of what I have learned from them, but I am not that. I do not fit the mold of the progressive politicians' making. And quite frankly, they don't know what to do with all of the people, the men and the women alike, who are so ordinary like me. So when I read the article about the Viking warrior woman, I kind of wanted to picture her wearing polka dots. Her opponents would have sized up her 5 foot 5 inch frame as having no real threat to them. Her sweet smile likely would have confused them just long enough for her to have out-strategized them, outflanked them, and raised up a crop of children just like her. Absolutely. Ordinary warriors fighting extraordinary battles, not even for ourselves, but for those So, among my implements of battle, future archaeologists will find my battle flag of legacy, protecting and preserving the rights and values that were passed along to me by previous generations. Being a good steward of history and instilling those passions for patriotism that I see in my fellow warrior women and men who fight for the downtrodden and push back the line of tyranny and those who would place their thumbs over our heads and their hands over our mouths. Ordinary warriors, wearing pretty polka dot dresses, minds sharp with knowledge, tongues quick with wisdom. We, my friends, are those ordinary. Ordinary? Ordinary warriors. And we are terrifying to our opponents. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you've noticed, but on your tables, I have left you a little gift with our little warrior, our little polka dot warrior, with the hashtag, polka dots are my camo, and an extra hashtag,